Good evening. We've got some additional updates that we'd like to provide our community related to the officer-involved shooting that happened earlier this morning in the 3400 block of 15th Avenue South. I'm going to read through the press release that will be pushed out after this and identify some of the new information that we know since our last brief earlier this morning. Just to refresh everyone's recollection, at about 8:07 a.m. on July 8th, 2022, our officers were sent to a possible man down in the 3400 block of 15th Avenue South. The caller stated that multiple individuals were slumped over within a vehicle located inside a garage at that location. The caller also reported that the vehicle had a bullet hole in the windshield. That's new information since this morning. Our officers arrived on scene at approximately 8:13 a.m. and approximately 8:15 a.m. Called out regarding shots fired and a foot pursuit. Prior to that, when they arrived on scene, they observed three individuals inside a red 2008 Kia Sedona that was later found to have been stolen on July 5th in Fargo. As they approached the van inside the garage, the driver of the van quickly accelerated and fled the scene. A Fargo Police Department officer discharged a firearm towards the van, striking the driver. The two passengers in the vehicle fled on foot. One of the individuals was apprehended near the scene. He's identified as Cody Dunn, 25-year-old white male with no permanent address, who was arrested and charged with refusal to halt and possession of controlled substance methamphetamine. The second passenger continued to flee on foot. The driver of the van, a 28-year-old Native American male, Jamestown resident, was transported to a local healthcare facility where he passed earlier this afternoon. Fargo Police have notified next of kin, and we will be releasing that information relative to that individual, as well as the information related to the officer tomorrow afternoon. However, we are continuing to seek the public's assistance in identifying the third individual who fled the scene. You can see his photo up there. We're going to be pushing this out on our social media. That's the individual that was described to you earlier today. He fled the scene on foot, and he's wanted for failure to halt. So we'll be looking to identify and arrest him, at which point the Bureau of Criminal Investigation can also interview him regarding the shooting. As I said earlier this morning, the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation, within a very short time, took over the investigation relative to the use of force by our officer. This will take them several days, well into next week, to complete that investigation. They have all of our body cam and in-car video. Everyone at the scene had body camera footage, so we'll have that will be available at some juncture. And they've also interviewed not only law enforcement witnesses, but citizen witnesses, and their investigation is ongoing. So they are the lead agency from that perspective. Once they have concluded the criminal investigation relative to the officer's use of force, they will refer that to the Cass County State's Attorney Office for review, where they will look to determine whether or not the officer's use of force was justified under North Dakota Century Code. The officer involved is an 11-year veteran. He's been placed on paid administrative leave, which is standard practice and policy, while the investigation continues. As the investigation progresses, information will be released as it becomes available. Fortunately, in this incident, while it's unfortunate that an individual lost his life, this is a traumatic instance for our officers as well. None of them were injured, and we certainly appreciate their efforts throughout this investigation, as well as the assistance of the Cass County Sheriff's Office, who took over calls for a short period of time while many of our personnel were involved in this investigation. And I'm happy to take any questions. I'm sorry, where the what?
Yeah.
Jamestown.
I'm going to have you repeat the question.
Yeah. No, the decedent is from Jamestown.
I'm looking to learn a little bit more. Ty Schoner, WDAY Radio. I'm looking to learn a little bit more about the lead up to the shot. the incident. Can we get more detail on that? The moment befores and moment afters. I don't know. I'm just looking to see what you have to say about that.
Sure. Yeah, and I know that everyone would like that. That's in the hands of BCI at this juncture. So in order to maintain the integrity of that investigation, none of us up here actually know all of those details. They are the ones who conduct those interviews and verify the information. And when their investigation is complete, then we'll be advised in terms of how what their findings were. Yes, sir. We don't know that. We are, on our end, our department continues to investigate the stolen vehicle, but we don't, at this juncture, know if any of those individuals have a connection to the apartment building.
It was asked this morning, but were any weapons found in the van or around the van?
No, there were not.
Chief, I just want to clarify, Bailey with iNewZ Live. You said this morning that he was on administrative duty, and then here you said administrative leave. I just want to clarify which one the officer is.
Sure. It's administrative leave. At some juncture, he will come back in a transitional duty status, meaning he won't be on the street until such time as the investigation is done and the state's attorney makes a ruling on his use of force.
I imagine the release of body cam footage will be delayed until the investigation is more thorough or more complete, but I just want to hear it from you. Is that the case?
Yeah, absolutely. And our policy allows for release of body-worn camera video as long as it's agreed to with BCI and the prosecutor. That was a policy update that we made last year as we were attempting to increase our transparency. And so that's the determination that will be made somewhere down the road. But yeah, that could happen prior to finalization with consent of those individuals.
Chief, this is Sam with WDAY TV. Do you know, was there an effort made by the driver of the van to hit the officer, or did they just try to flee away from the scene?
I don't know those details, unfortunately, until we see the results of the officer interviews.